Are you kidding me right now? The WWE Universe just witnessed the most disgusting, most vile betrayal in recent memory, and if you're not absolutely furious about what GUSO just did, then you clearly haven't been paying attention. This man, and I use the term loosely, just spat in the face of every single fan who believed in his redemption story, who cheered for him through his darkest moments, who stood by him when Roman Reigns made his life a living nightmare. But apparently, none of that mattered. Apparently, all those tears, all that emotion, all those passionate promos about breaking free from his cousin's control, it was all a lie. GUSO didn't just turn heel last night, he committed character assassination on himself and proved that some people never change, no matter how many chances you give them. And what makes this even more infuriating is that he had the audacity, the absolute nerve, to declare himself the new tribal chief. Are you serious? This is the same man who couldn't stand up to Roman for years, who took abuse after abuse, who was literally made to look like a fool week after week, and now he thinks he deserves to lead the family. The disrespect is absolutely mind-boggling. Let me break down exactly what happened and why this betrayal cuts so deep. For months, we watched GUSO struggle with his identity. We saw him fight against Roman's tyrannical rule, we witnessed his internal conflict between family loyalty and doing what's right. The WWE Universe rallied behind him because his story was real. It was about breaking cycles of abuse, standing up to bullies, and finding your own voice in a world that tries to silence you. But what did G do with all that support? What did he do with the trust of millions of fans who saw themselves in his struggle? He threw it all away for power. He revealed that deep down, he's just as manipulative, just as power-hungry, and just as willing to step on people as Roman ever was. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and last night proved that GUSO learned all the wrong lessons from his time under Roman's thumb. The way this betrayal unfolded was absolutely sickening to watch. There was Cody Rhodes, celebrating what should have been a moment of triumph, finally feeling like he had genuine allies in his corner. The crowd was electric, believing they were witnessing the formation of something special, a united front against tyranny and corruption. But G was playing the long game, wasn't he? He was waiting for the perfect moment to strike, like a snake hiding in the grass. But here's what makes me absolutely sick to my stomach, the promo he cut afterward. Standing over Cody's broken body, G had the unmitigated gall to claim he was the rightful tribal chief, that he deserved respect, that he was tired of being overlooked. Are you kidding me? This is the same man who had multiple opportunities to step up, who chose to stay in Roman's shadow, who let his brother Jimmy carry the load time and time again. You want to know what real leadership looks like, G? It looks like Cody Rhodes fighting for his family legacy while being humble about his position. It looks like your own brother Jimmy consistently having your back even when you didn't deserve it. It looks like Roman, and I can't believe I'm saying this, at least being honest about his intentions from day one. But you're a fraud. You're a pretender who thinks that betrayal and backstabbing somehow qualify you for leadership. The worst part about this entire situation is how calculated it all was. This wasn't a heat-of-the-moment decision. This wasn't G snapping under pressure, this was a premeditated character assassination. Think about all the interactions we've seen over the past few months. Every time G showed vulnerability, every time he opened up about his struggles, every emotional moment we thought was genuine, it was all manipulation. He was studying everyone around him, learning their weaknesses, figuring out exactly how to hurt them the most. And can we talk about the timing? G chose to reveal his true colors at the moment when unity was most important, when the WWE Universe needed heroes they could believe in. He waited until people were invested, until they cared, until his betrayal would cause maximum damage. That's not just heel behavior, that's sociopathic behavior. What really gets under my skin is how this affects everyone else in G's orbit. Think about Jimmy USO, a man who has consistently been the more talented, more reliable, more loyal twin brother. Jimmy stood by G through everything, defended him when others questioned his commitment, vouched for his character when others had doubts. And how does G repay that loyalty? By proving that Jimmy was wrong to believe in him, by making Jimmy look like a fool for ever trusting his own blood. And poor Cody Rhodes. This man has been carrying the company on his back, fighting the good fight, trying to restore honor and integrity to WWE. He extended an olive branch to G, gave him a chance at redemption, treated him like family when his own family treated him like garbage. Cody saw something in G that apparently wasn't there, or worse, something that was there but got corrupted by greed and ambition. The ripple effects of this betrayal are going to be felt for months, maybe years. Every future alliance will be questioned, every gesture of trust will be scrutinized, every redemption story will be viewed with suspicion, and it's all because GUSO decided to prove that some people really don't deserve second chances. But let's talk about this ridiculous tribal chief claim for a minute, because it perfectly encapsulates everything wrong with G's mindset. The tribal chief isn't just a title you can declare yourself, it's something you earn through leadership, through sacrifice, through putting your family and your people first. Roman, for all his faults, at least understood the weight of that responsibility. He made difficult decisions, he protected his family even when it made him unpopular, he carried the burden of leadership even when it isolated him. But what has G ever sacrificed? When has he ever put anyone else's needs before his own? When has he ever made a decision that benefited the greater good instead of his personal ambitions? The answer is never. He's always been the selfish one, the one who needed protection, the one who folded under pressure. And now he thinks he can just take what others have earned through blood, sweat, and years of dedication? The audacity is absolutely staggering. It's like watching someone who's never held a job declare themselves CEO of a company. It's like seeing someone who can't drive demanding the keys to a race car. GUSO calling himself tribal chief is an insult to everyone who has ever actually led anything. And don't even get me started on how this affects the entire bloodline legacy. For years, that faction represented family bonds, Samoan heritage, and the power of unity. Roman elevated the concept to championship levels, Jimmy brought heart and authenticity to it, and even Solo Sikoa understood the importance of respecting the tradition. But G has turned it into a joke. He's made it about individual ambition instead of collective strength. The Samoan wrestling tradition is built on respect, honor, and earning your position through merit. Legends like The Rock, Yokozuna, and Rikishi didn't just claim greatness, they proved it in the ring, night after night, year after year. They understood that being Samoan in WWE meant carrying the hopes and dreams of an entire culture, representing something bigger than yourself. But GUSO thinks he can just skip all that hard work, bypass all that dedication, and crown himself through betrayal and cowardice. It's not just disrespectful to his opponents, it's disrespectful to his entire heritage. Every Samoan wrestler who came before him is probably rolling over in their grave watching this disgrace unfold. Here's what really gets me fired up though, the WWE Universe's reaction to all of this. Some of you are already making excuses for G. Oh, he was just doing what he had to do to survive. Roman pushed him to this point. He deserves his chance to be the leader. Are you out of your minds? There is no excuse for what G did. None. Zero. Roman being a bad leader doesn't justify G becoming an even worse human being. Having been mistreated doesn't give you the right to mistreat others. Being overlooked doesn't mean you get to step on everyone who actually supported you. Those aren't explanations, those are cop-outs from people who refuse to hold G accountable for his choices. And this idea that he deserves his chance to lead is absolutely ridiculous. Based on what? What leadership qualities has he ever displayed? When has he ever made a sacrifice for others? When has he ever shown the strategic thinking, the emotional intelligence, the moral compass that real leaders possess? The man couldn't even lead himself out of Roman's shadow for 3 years, and now we're supposed to believe he can lead an entire faction? Leadership isn't about declaring yourself the boss, it's about earning respect through your actions, building trust through consistency, and proving your worth when everything is on the line. G has done none of those things. All he's proven is that he's willing to betray anyone and everyone if it serves his selfish interests. What makes this situation even more infuriating is how it affects the future of WWE storytelling. For months, we've been invested in complex character development, morally ambiguous situations, and realistic emotional journeys. G's story was compelling because it felt real. The struggle between family loyalty and personal integrity is something millions of people can relate to in their own lives. But this betrayal reduces all that complexity to the most basic, most boring heel-turn formula imaginable. Instead of a nuanced character dealing with real consequences, we get another power-hungry villain who thinks betrayal equals strength. It's lazy writing disguised as shocking television, and frankly, the WWE Universe deserves better. We've seen this story 1,000 times before, the overlooked family member who turns on everyone in a desperate grab for power and respect. It's predictable, it's uninspired, and worst of all, it wastes all the genuine emotion and investment that fans put into G's redemption arc. All those months of character development just got flushed down the drain for a cheap shock value moment. And let's be honest about what this really represents, it's WWE falling back on the tired old formula of anyone can turn heel for any reason at any time. There's no respect for character consistency, no commitment to long-term storytelling, no understanding that some betrayals are so out of character that they actually hurt the product instead of helping it. GUSO's heel turn isn't shocking because it was unexpected, it's shocking because it makes no sense from a character perspective. This is a man who supposedly learned about the dangers of unchecked power, who experienced firsthand what happens when family members abuse their authority, who claimed to understand the importance of doing what's right even when it's difficult. But apparently, none of those lessons stuck. Apparently, all G learned from his time under Roman's thumb was how to be a more effective manipulator himself. Instead of breaking this cycle of abuse and toxicity, he's perpetuating it. Instead of being better than his cousin, he's proving that he's actually worse. The most disgusting part of this entire situation is how G is trying to justify his actions. In that pathetic excuse for a promo, he had the nerve to claim he was protecting the family legacy and doing what needed to be done. Are you serious? Protecting the legacy by destroying everyone who actually cares about it? Doing what needs to be done by betraying the people who showed you nothing but loyalty and support? That's not protection, that's destruction. That's not leadership, that's dictatorship. GUSO has become everything he once claimed to hate about Roman's leadership style, except worse because at least Roman was honest about his methods from the beginning. And can we acknowledge how this betrayal affects the entire WWE landscape moving forward? Cody Rhodes was building something special, a movement based on fighting for what's right, standing up to corruption, and proving that good guys can finish first if they're willing to work hard enough. G's betrayal doesn't just hurt Cody personally, it damages that entire message. Now, every time someone tries to build a coalition of good guys, fans will wonder if there's another GUSO in the group, waiting to strike at the worst possible moment. Every redemption story will be viewed with suspicion, every emotional promo will be questioned, every gesture of trust will be second-guessed. G hasn't just betrayed his allies, he's betrayed the very concept of heroism in WWE. But here's what really makes me angry, G thinks he's going to get away with this. He thinks that one sneak attack and one self-aggrandizing promo somehow make him the new tribal chief. He thinks that betrayal and backstabbing are going to earn him the respect that years of loyalty and dedication never could. Well, I've got news for GUSO, respect isn't something you can steal, and leadership isn't something you can claim through violence. Real champions earn their position through consistent excellence, through making the people around them better, through proving they deserve the trust that's been placed in them. G has proven the exact opposite of all those things. He's shown that he's unreliable, untrustworthy, and completely unworthy of the position he's trying to claim. Any leadership he attempts to exercise will be built on fear and intimidation rather than genuine respect and admiration. Mark my words, this decision is going to backfire on G in ways he can't even imagine yet. The WWE Universe has long memories, and they don't forget when someone betrays their trust this completely. Every match G has from now on will be filled with fans who want to see him get exactly what he deserves. Every promo will be interrupted by crowds who refuse to accept his authority. And when the time comes for G to face the consequences of his actions, and that time will come, he's going to discover that all the power in the world can't protect you from the wrath of people you've wronged. Cody Rhodes isn't going to forget this betrayal, Jimmy USO isn't going to forget having his trust thrown back in his face, and the WWE Universe isn't going to let G pretend that he's somehow the victim in all of this. The bottom line is this: GUSO has revealed himself to be everything wrong with modern WWE. He represents selfishness over sacrifice, ambition over integrity, and betrayal over loyalty. His actions last night weren't just an attack on Cody Rhodes, they were an attack on everyone who believes that good guys should actually be good, that redemption stories should have meaning, and that some things are more important than personal glory. So to everyone who's defending G's actions, to everyone who's making excuses for this inexcusable betrayal, to everyone who thinks this somehow makes him a compelling character, you're wrong. This isn't compelling television, it's character assassination. This isn't complex storytelling, it's lazy writing. And this isn't the birth of a new tribal chief, it's the death of everything that made GUSO worth caring about in the first place. GUSO wanted to make a statement last night, and he succeeded. He proved that some people will always choose the easy path over the right path, that some individuals will always put themselves before everyone else, and that some betrayals are so complete and so devastating that they can never be forgiven. Congratulations, G, you got your moment of glory. But I hope it was worth it, because you've lost something far more valuable than any championship belt, you've lost your soul. And no amount of power or respect or fear is going to fill that void you've created in yourself. The real tribal chief title doesn't belong to someone who declares it through betrayal, it belongs to whoever can unite the family, lead by example, and earn respect through their actions rather than their words. And based on everything we've seen, that person is definitely not GUSO. What do you think about this disgusting betrayal? Are you as furious as I am about G's actions? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's discuss whether there's any possible way for G to redeem himself after this ultimate act of selfishness and cowardice.